All right, so let's talk about the Obi Wan Kenobi. Like, apparently, I don't know if it's scandal or just the issues that the vitriol that's been happening with the Star Wars fandom, and just kind of the issues that I've been seeing about Obi Wan Kenobi, and just like what is happening right now to the fandom. So first off, we're going to be talking about three things. What's my overall opinion about the Obi Wan Kenobi series? We're going to be talking about the midnight, like 2 a.m. tweet from the official Star Wars Twitter account that just seems like I'm okay with. It's not like that big of a deal, but it's definitely just odd to see this tweet and the different reactions that you've been getting with this tweet. And lastly, I want to talk about the review bombing that's been apparently happening with the Obi Wan Kenobi series, and it's definitely gotten me thinking. Going, okay, a lot of people are saying, this is a review bomb. Actually, looking at the review and going on Rotten Tomato and looking at all the reviews, I'm not really convinced that it's actually a review bomb. I think it's just honest people getting on there going, yeah, I have criticisms about this, and this is how I'm going to voice my opinion. So we're going to get into all that stuff and just kind of talk about exactly what's happening within this series. So first off, let's talk about Obi Wan Kenobi and what I think about it. I'm going to say this. We're 3 episodes in. We got 3 episodes left. Honestly, to me, it's great to see Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi. It's great to see Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. And I think that's what a lot of people have been anticipating. They've been wanting to see these characters portrayed in I guess live action again. But it's definitely one thing that a lot of people have been saying, like, look, this series is just not doing it justice. It's not doing the story and canon wise between episode 3 and episode 4 any justice whatsoever. Now, again, that's just an opinion that people have, and I'm kind of fit into that boat, that there are criticisms, there are opinions that I have about the series that I'm not agreeing with whatsoever. But honestly, just looking at the series as a whole, it's not gotten to that point where it's made a great argument saying, man, this series needed to be here. This series just definitely amplifies. It gets me so excited to watch episode 4 from episode 3, Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, and it definitely fills in the gaps. It doesn't feel like that whatsoever. It almost feels like Solo, which again, Solo's not like the worst movie in the world, but it doesn't feel like that story needed to be told. The Han Solo story just did not need to be told, and Solo, I feel like, just did not do the character justice. It did some character justice a little bit, but not to the point where I'm like, oh man, this is a reason why this show needed to be made. Now, when it comes to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, again, a lot of people have been having criticisms about it. I think Ewan McGregor and then Hayden Christensen, as their respective characters, have done decently well. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I feel like, is definitely more of a pushover that I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not a huge fan of this defeativeness. If I wanted defeatedness, I just go outside and find somebody that's just on bad standing and bad luck. I want somebody that I'm going to be watching in a movie, in a TV series, to be uplifting, inspiring, and having some hope. Now, I get the story from Revenge of the Sith to this and what he's been dealing with, but it just seems like he's so defeated. It just seems like he's such a pushover, and it just doesn't make it very good entertainment when you're just watching somebody just walk around going, man, I feel sorry for them. And it just feels like he's completely out of character. Now, let's talk about this, the Inquisitors. I know the Inquisitors have been kind of a big ring, especially when it comes to the Grand Inquisitor, the way he looks. How is Moses Ingram portraying the third sister? And I'll just say, overall, I feel like the Inquisitors could have been done better. Just overall, all the Inquisitors. I feel like the Rebel series, as well as Fallen Order, did the Inquisitors a lot better. This has nothing to do with anybody personally. I just feel like the characters were done better justice in Rebels and in Fallen Order, a lot better than the way that they're getting treated in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Moses Ingram, I nothing against her personally. I mean, it has nothing to do about her, but just I've been seeing a lot of people criticizing her character, and I definitely understand their criticism because from a direction and from a written standpoint, I don't feel like she was done justice. I don't feel like the third sister's character is being done justice in the series. She does come off kind of like a little bit of annoying, that people can have, gripes and complaints about as a character. As a person, she's fine, but as a character in the series, I definitely see the criticism that people are having. And even when it comes to the interaction that she has with the other Inquisitors, even the Grand Inquisitor and what happens to him, good heavens, it just makes it very odd to see that in this series. And it just doesn't fit with, Rebels and Fallen Order. So that overall is just, I'm not a huge fan of the Inquisitors. Let's talk about this last thing, Leia. The funny thing about Leia, and I've been seeing a lot of criticism when it comes to this character, is that she kind of reminds me of my daughter, but I understand what people's criticisms are because she definitely, it seems like she knows a lot more than she probably should. She interacts damn near almost to an adult standard, which is just kind of funny. She's supposed to be 10, but she's having just this much maturity and pushing Obi-Wan Kenobi over. I'm just gonna let you know right now, I don't let my daughter push me over like that, like Obi-Wan gets pushed around by Leia. But it's just odd to see her interactions and stuff like that when it comes to kind of pushing Obi-Wan Kenobi around and just and the weird interaction again. I think she's great as a Leia. I think she portrays Leia great. It's just odd to see that interaction sometimes with it. There are some very heartfelt moments in the series when it comes to Obi-Wan and Leia, especially in episode 3, but there's definitely a lot of times where it seems like Obi-Wan Kenobi is just a klutz, dumb, just stupid, and then Leia just knows everything, and it's like, kids have flaws too. Trust me. I know. So anyway, yeah, overall, the Star Wars Kenobi series, it's just, it's a mixed bag, man. There's stuff in this series that I think is done well. There's some things in here that needs criticism and stuff like that. But overall, I'm just looking at the series going, yeah, you know, it's 50-50. You know, I'm not overall sold that this series needed to be made. It's just, it's enjoyable to see, but again, to me, it just does not argue to me that it needs to be made. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's get into what has been happening the past couple of days with some of the backlash that apparently people have been having with the series. Now, again, like I said, some people are sitting in the same boat as me. I got mixed opinions about the series. It has anything to do with anybody personally. It just has something to do with the character, the setting, the way that's shot, the way it's directed, and stuff like that. There have been just issues with that overall in the series. Now, when it comes to what Star Wars tweeted out at 1:15 a.m. On the 31st, it's been rubbing everybody the wrong way, and it's been kind of interesting to see exactly the different reactions. Now, the overall story is that Moses Ingram, the lady that plays the third sister, has been getting remarks in her Instagram that have been very vitriol, very harmful, and just not appropriate by any means. And Star Wars comes out with this tweet saying, "Hey, we push back against racism." And the funny thing is, to me, is that like I look at 99% of the Star Wars fan base going, "Yeah, everybody agrees with this." I think a lot of people agree with, we stand up against racism, and especially when it comes to the Star Wars universe, there's just so many characters, so many different races, so many different species of people and creatures and stuff like that. That yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody watching this series going, "Oh my gosh, well, what's this and that." I don't think so. Maybe an extreme minority, but I don't think that's the case whatsoever. But it's just odd to see that Star Wars is pushing this out when I would say the minority, the 0.1%, whatever population of Star Wars fans that thinks this way. It's just very odd to see that. Now, the one thing that I've been kind of having an opinion about when it comes to what they are pushing with this thing is that, look, if they have damaging tweets, very vitriol, very harassment style Instagram posts or tweets and stuff like that going towards somebody personally, I don't understand why we don't just out that person out. Why don't we come together as a community and go after these people and saying, no, this is inappropriate behavior. Don't act like this. Don't act like this to somebody personally. But for some reason, this was tweeted out with not really too much of a reference of like, who are we targeting? Who are we going after? Because this is not acceptable behavior. And some people have been thinking about this going, wow, this is Disney tweeting this out. Like, okay, we're wanting to end racism and stuff like that. But this is the same Disney that had John Boyega, had Finn, and very prominently in the United States, in the U.S., the Western world, very prominently there, but he's all the way down here. Like, that's what people are not understanding about this entire thing is that, okay, if we're against racism, why do you treat the character of Finn differently between the two posters? Isn't that kind of odd? It's kind of weird. I've been seeing different tweets of like, why would Moses Ingram getting this heat, getting this controversy, getting these hateful, messages and stuff like that, where we haven't heard this type of reaction to other characters throughout the Star Wars, franchise and stuff like that. It's just been kind of weird. It's weird seeing that reaction with this one person when you look at the entire series as a whole, and it hasn't been the case for other people. So it's very odd to see Star Wars tweet this out when it hasn't been done for other people. So it's odd to see this reaction. But again, like I said, I would say 99% of the Star Wars fan base agrees with, end racism, get the racists out of the fan base and stuff like that. But it's just odd to see that this is coming out now when people are having criticisms over the series But for some reason, Star Wars is saying, no, you can't criticize the series because you're criticizing somebody personally. And it's like, no, that's not the case. You can criticize characters, you can criticize, a series or a movie and stuff like that, and it's not taken personally against the actor, the person. But for some reason, Star Wars and some of the fan base does not see that by any means. You can't separate the two between each other. Let's talk about this. Last thing we're going to talk about is the review bombing of Obi Wan Kenobi, and just the kind of the weird thing about this. So for those that don't know, apparently right now they're Rotten Tomato people are accusing of others, within the Star Wars fan base and stuff like that, of actually review bombing the Obi Wan Kenobi series. Now, this was posted 18 hours ago, so this is just kind of a screen grab of what was shown with it. 87% of critics, 58% of audience. But if you actually go over to this, and I'll actually refresh it as well and make sure. So it's gone up a couple of percentage when it comes to the audience score. Now, the one thing that I wanted to know, with the amount of tweets that were coming out about the Rotten Tomato, view bombing or review bombing and stuff like that, it's like, okay, so let's click into it. Let's actually see what people are saying. Like, if this is review bombing, there has to be some kind of differentiate. Like, there have to be some criticisms, right? You can't just vote on it and not give any criticism. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's just been odd to see that, and especially when it comes to Rotten Tomato, when it comes to other series or TV shows that Disney has done, Rotten Tomato has been known to actually remove tweets, or not tweets, but comments and reviews that they've seen as not being legit reviews and stuff like that. But honestly, I just got into the details and just wanted to see, okay, there are actually reviews going through there, 1 minute ago, all the way out, that of people reviewing and actually giving, some honest feedback. Now, there might be some people and just saying, it's bad, 1-star review. Oh, it's great, 5-star review. There are that back and forth. But honestly, just looking at this, seeing what people are saying, and actually going to the website and just being like, okay, what are people saying about it? Is this actually a review bomb? To me personally, I don't think that's the case by any means. I don't think it's that whatsoever. Now, one thing that actually was brought up to me really recently, and just one thing that just made me like, okay, that's kind of odd. So it's this tweet right here of not understanding why there's not any criticism. Oh my gosh, critiques with the top critics and stuff like that. Why are we not getting any feedback whatsoever with what the top critics are saying? And you have tweets like this or pictures like this where it says there's no top critic reviews, there's no all critic reviews. There is an audience, but that's it. So I was like, you know what? Let me actually go test that out. So we go over to all critics, nothing. We go over top critics, nothing. You go over to audience and you can see what the audience score is. So why is that the case? Why is that the case that you can go over to that and you don't see it? There's no critics reviews. There's just an 87%, a critics rating, 168. 168 people have put in critiques of this thing. Why is there no feedback given? With 2,000 people giving an audience score of 60%, there is feedback. I don't know if there's 2,000 people writing reviews and stuff like that, giving feedback on it. But why is there not at least a few top critics that are giving feedback? Why is it completely blank? Again, if people want to come out here and push this idea of review bombing, I get that. Come out here, see for yourself, see if it was review bombing. That's something that I did. Just look at the reviews that people are giving. But also, too, when it comes to the top critics, why are we not getting any reviews from top critics? Why are we not getting any citations? Why are we not getting anything of what their feedback is about the series? We're just given, hey, it's 87%. Again, like I said, it's been very odd. Anyway, wanted to give you guys my opinion about it. It's been a very odd thing. We'll kind of get into it more as it grows. I feel like it's going to be growing. We're only halfway through the series, but it will definitely give you guys my opinion about what I think about all the controversies that as we make our way through. Let me know in the comments about what do you guys think about my critique over the series. What do you guys think about what Star Wars, what their official Twitter account did with the attacks that Moses Ingram is getting, and also too, what do you think about this controversy with Rotten Tomato and it possibly being review bombed, which I don't really think it is, but let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please have a great rest of the day. Look forward to talking to you guys all next time.